Hey guys, Dopey coming at you with a new 7 Days to Die video. Today's video is sort of a tutorial for people that are new to 7 Days to Die and a quick way to help you get set up for a good clean game, and get right into it. So right off the bat, this is your main menu. Once you load the game, this is what you see. It's all self-explanatory really. New game, continue game, connect a server, create a world, options, credits, and quit. Create a world is a function that has been promised to us for a very long time. Right now we are in alpha 14.6 and it is still not available yet. So hopefully while you guys are watching this video, the feature will be out and I'll be able to make a new video showing those features of create a world. So right off the bat, I want to recommend that everybody goes into options and tweaks with these settings in here. For this tutorial, I will be playing all settings on default. But for right now, I want to show you guys that the field of view should be cranked all the way up to 90 for your game. The default is 50, but it's a very low impact setting, so I just recommend you crank it all the way up to 90. And really quick, I will just show you why real fast. Alright guys, so here's a side-by-side view of the differences in the field of view. So this is the default 50 on the left, and on the right is the 90 cranked all the way to the max. On the left, you can see how more constricting and how more closer everything feels than it does on the right. On the right, it feels more depth and more three-dimensional. So it just is a better gameplay experience if you just crank that all the way up. I do highly recommend it. Again, like I said, it's a low impact resource, so it really doesn't hurt much to turn it up. Even low-end PCs can handle it no problem. Alright guys, so hopefully you'll crank your field of view up to 90. Go ahead and apply it and get out of that one. Go to audio, go ahead and tweak these how you'd like. I like to turn the audio settings down a little bit so it's more easy to fine-tune what you want to hear. But again, set up how you like. Controls, I definitely recommend as you play the game, experimenting and trying to figure out better, more fluent control combinations. That way you can able to access inventories, backpacks, crafting menus and whatnot a lot more fluently. But I'm going to leave mine on default again. Player profiles are what you have to select before you start a game. So I'm using Randy, a created character that I made, but the game comes stocked with about about 15 or 20 default characters that you can select from. Creating a new character is relatively simple. There's a lot of options to play with, so you can go ahead and fine tune it, try to get something that you desire to be the most attractive or most studly last man in the world, or woman. Where's woman? Or woman. You can also just keep clicking randomize and get you different features of all the stats and stuff on the bodies. So hey, go nuts. Again, I'm gonna stick with Randy though. That's my bud. Been through a lot together. Alright, so under new game, so there are 3 features underneath of game mode: survival single player, survival multiplayer, and creative. Survival single player is basically you playing solo against the hordes of zombies exploring Navigant County, Arizona, to uncover the truth behind what really happened. That is not entirely true. That is kind of, right now, at this point at least, it's false advertising. There is no real end game or anything like that, anything really to discover. Anything that there is to discover in the single player is also found in multiplayer. The only difference is that once you start a single player game, other players are not allowed in your game. So if down the road you decide you would like to play with a friend, you'll have to start a new game, or basically try to route your game over to a server and then change the coding that way. So it is possible, but it's just a lot more of a pain in the butt. Survival multiplayer, basically the same exact thing as solo, but as you see over here, let me see if I can get that to stay so you guys can read that. Basically, you fight against other players or band together to survive the zombie apocalypse. With this, you don't necessarily have to fight against other players. Like all the options here I'm going to go through in a minute, you can set it up to where nobody can hurt each other. You can set it up to where you can have passwords that only your friends can get on. So it's not as really bare and grinning as they make it sound. You do have land claim blocks, which I'll go into a little bit later in game, not into this tutorial, but probably the next few or so. But land claims, each player is given a land claim that protects a certain amount of area, which again is something you can customize in your game options to have like basically a dead zone that no other player can interact with anything in that area. Nothing can be placed in this person's area. It's basically like a totem pole that gives you complete power over a certain amount of area for a certain amount of time, however you set it up. And then creative mode. I'm sorry, I opened up too many at once. All right, and then creative mode. Creative mode is basically what everybody probably knows. Anybody that plays any kind of survival craft game, it's basically like a sandbox mode where you can go in, spawn whatever you'd like, and just, you know, go nuts, basically. Now, as far as the game worlds go, there are 2 game worlds at this time: Navigant and Random Gen. Navigant is the main game, the main map that the game was built around. You know, 3 years ago when the game was developed. Takes place in some place somewhere in Arizona or whatever. Really quickly, I'll bring up a image of Navigant map just to give you a look for what you're going to be getting into. Alright guys, so here is the Navigant map. So right away over Random Gen, Navigant has this as a drawback, whereas this is all you can explore. These dark green edge is a radiation zone that you're not allowed to enter. So this is it. Like, you're basically boxed in. As far as Navigant goes, it does have its perks over Random Gen. Over in Navigant, you can find buildings that are only available in Navigant. For example, there's a hospital here. There is I believe a brewery. Yeah, this factory right here. There is also a junkyard. The settlements down here. I'm not sure about this cave. I can't remember what the cave is like. The docks, the marina, certain things like that are specific just to Navigant, and I believe the school also. But police stations, army camps, stuff like that can be found in Random Gen as well. Also within Navigant, you'll find out mid-game, which I probably should go into later, but I'll just touch on really quick. Mining is a little different. In Navigant, when you mine underground, no matter where you mine at, you'll find any kind of resource just mixed in together. Whereas in Random Gen, certain resources are under certain biomes. So in the snow biome in Random Gen, you would only find iron and I believe lead, whereas in the forest biome, you would find everything. In the desert biome in Random Gen, you would only find, I believe, iron and shale for making gasoline. But again, I'll go into all that later. So just there is those key differences in Random Gen and Navigant. Alright, so now you've seen the Navigant map, you can better determine which game mode you're up for. For this video, I'm going to go Navigant, just because it's an educational video. Your game name works for 2 features. Your game name makes it so that you're discoverable on the connected server list. So whatever you make your game name, people can type it in here and be able to find your game, determining what list you're on. Also, your game name determines what map is generated on Random Gen. I, for instance, always use the name Dopey's Den, so my Random Gen map is always pretty much the same. It has changed over the updates. Like I said, we're at 14.6 now, so the map was a lot different back in Alpha 8 versus what it is now. But it's basically the same map. Alright, so like I said, I'm going in Navigant, so the game name will not generate anything different for the Navigant map. It will be the same default Navigant map. It, doesn't have a game seed. And game options, you can go ahead and tweak through these and set them up how you'd like. I'm gonna leave all mine on default. You should definitely look through them and get a feel for what everything does. There's nothing really too confusing. Claim blocks down here may need an explanation. Like I was talking about them earlier, I don't really play with claim blocks in my game. Everybody I let in my game, I always tell them to drop the claim blocks before you get in. Basically, I nullify them myself anyways. Like, I set them all down for minimum power as they have. But real quick, I'll go over them real quick. So your claim size, as you can see on the side here, stay. There you go. A land claim grants a hardness modifier to all blocks in your claim area. The hardness modifier applies to any attacks or damage to blocks made by enemy players. You can control the size of the horizontal area that is protected by the land claim flagstone, and all land claims protected in their vertical area from the sky to bedrock. For example, a land claim size of 7 would protect a 7x7 square area from sky to bedrock. So basically, yeah. So if you put down a claim block in the middle of the ground, it will protect, like it said, 7x7 from the infinite sky down to the infinite bedrock, to where it will add these buffers right here. It will add a 4 times durability to any of your blocks, to anything you build. So if you build a house made of wood and you have a claim block inside of it, and all of the buildings are inside the 7 blocks, all of your wood blocks will be multiplied times 4, as long as you're online or offline, because these settings, you can change them. The claim block dead zone is how far away a player is allowed to place their claim block with yours. So if you want to live in like a town with somebody, they have to be at least 30 blocks from your claim block to be able to place theirs. Excuse me. Claim duration 3 days. It takes 3 days for your, I believe, your claim block to decay. I believe that's what that is. Trying to make it stay as I can read. A number of days a player can be offline before their claim block expires. Okay, yeah, so how many days you can be offline before it expires. And then I guess the K mode is while you're online. So a land claim's hardness modifier decays over time. So yeah, so I'm not sure about the time, because it doesn't really say like a slow, fast, or anything like that. It's all you get. You don't have like a days or hours. So while you're online, it will slowly deteriorate from 4 times to 3 times, 2 times, before it gets down to 1, and then you have to place a new claim block. Sorry about that. So with all your settings set up, ready to go, you are ready to hop into a game of 7 Days to Die. I hope I helped you get a brush of everything you need to know to get the game going. And you guys, I hope you enjoy. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave a comment. See you guys later. Peace.